Now we've arrived at one of the most exciting parts on the old Erie Canal State Historic Park. My old stomping grounds for a number of years. Chittenango Landing, home of Chittenango Landing Canal Boat Museum. Now I could go on about this place for hours. I literally have done that, but I'll just give us more of an overview of Chittenango Landing. I encourage you to come visit it though sometime. It's open on the weekends at the moment, and I'm going to get to an exciting program they're doing as well. So just moving from west to east as we have been on this tour, you can see kind of behind those trees here, that's a recreated outhouse over their sluiceway. Actually got flushed by one of the most notable feature of the site, really. Behind this berm of grass, this is an old cofferdam that was built to show a sunken canal boat. You can kind of see sticking up the pins from the sides of the boat. This is one of, we believe, 8 sunken canal boats within a mile of this site. People generally just abandoned their boats after they sank. And this building here is the recreation of a general store that would have stood on this property. It was taken down sometime in the 1900s after this site stopped being used for industrial purposes. Part of it was used as a shed, and part of the original building are apparently in some of the local houses. You can see back there, that's a recreated mule shed that would have existed. So I guess we'll get to what this site was, Chittenango Landing. You can see we've got a wide waters here, and this is a specifically constructed wide waters, unlike some of the other ones we saw where they just broke down the canal wall. This was made because behind this berm, which is again a dam that was constructed when they were rebuilding this site. Behind that are 3 dry dock bays, I believe. If we walk over here, there is a sign that'll show you better what they look like. Here we go. These are dry docks, and these are very unique. These are why Chittenango Landing really exists. Dry docks are where you would fix and repair your boats. You'd bring them in through these gates. These would be full of water during the canal days. You'd take your boat in, and then just like a lock, much like our way lock at the Erie Canal Museum, you would drain them out, and you could get under your boat and fix them. There's still dry docks today for almost all boats, but these here are the only remaining dry docks, well, at least that have been restored on the whole Erie Canal, possibly in the United States. And if you come here, the back walls are still original, as are the lower parts of the walls and this western wall. They're all original stonework from the Erie. The rest rebuilt in the 1980s. Much of this site, none of the buildings are original. They're all rebuilt buildings to look very much like a photograph that they have in their collection from the 1870s, showing this was a booming site. Three bays is pretty impressive for a dry dock. There would have been about 40 or over 40 dry docks on the canal, including one in Syracuse, an early one right across the street from the Erie Canal Museum. Actually, once tolls stopped being collected, the Erie Canal Museum was occasionally used in a pinch. Well, the Waylock was used occasionally in a pinch as an emergency dry dock. We've already been by Fayetteville. They had a dry dock. We're going to head towards Canastota that way. They had a dry dock, and I'm not going to get there today, but Durhamville and Oneida, they had a dry dock. Dorrance. But let's talk a little bit more about this site. So I started talking about the dry docks because the mule stable, when you brought your boat in to be repaired, or if you wanted to stop for the night, say you liked that store, You could keep your mules or horses that were pulling your boats there. Inside there are actually the remains of a canal boat, a very rare steamboat. That's their industrial building. There's a blacksmith shop, carpentry shop, sawmill. The blacksmith shop actually still functions. Oh, more beautiful nature. There's an osprey flying over the site. The blacksmith shop still functions. We have here a recreated canal boat. This boat, folks, it's built to be an enlarged Erie Canal laker. It is not, it's about a half-size replica of a canal boat on the enlarged canal. And if you come here, it's pretty huge right now, but a real canal boat would have been 100 feet long. And it's there because that is where they historically would have built boats at Chittenango Landing, what is known as the Bullhead. And this body of water here is the Chittenango Feeder Canal. This hooks up to Chittenango Creek. Back in the early days of the canal, it would have gone all the way into downtown Chittenango and would have helped to build that growing community. It's the second one ever built, actually, after the Salina side cut, which would eventually become the Oswego Canal, right across the street from the Erie Canal Museum. And it's thought that that was constructed in order to access Canvas White's hydraulic cement factory, which I've already talked a little about. Hydraulic cement in Fayetteville. Hydraulic cement legendarily found in Chittenango, and Canvas White opens up a factory down there, and it was instrumental in helping to complete the original canal. So this would have actually gone an extra quarter to half a mile to the north of here, where the original dry docks were. The museum actually recently acquired that land and has been doing archaeology on it. So yeah, and you would launch those boats, you'd push them down that bank into that feeder canal. Now the feeder canal is much shorter, by the way. It only goes up to Chittenango Creek, about a half a mile from here. So this is some of the real highlights. You might also notice there are other boats laying around. Those are kayaks, largely provided by the state of New York. The Canal Corporation, though some are provided by the Chittenango Rotary Museum. And they are part of the exciting Staycation program that the state is running due to COVID-19. You can go to several stops, including Chittenango Landing here, and take out a free kayak or bicycle, which is really awesome. And then you can take those out on the trail or on the waterway. A few other highlights. That's the visitor center over there. Now it's got a funky shape, but you might also notice these ruined walls in front of it. Those are the ruins of the Merrill Sewell canning factory. Merrill Sewell was if you know None Such Mincemeat, that's the company that produced that. They had a large factory here. The visitor center is designed to look like one of the other buildings of the factory. So Merrill Sewell's got an interesting history in itself. And this is the newly installed bridge across the canal to hook up to the Chittenango Creek Walk. This is the last phase of the Creek Walk, and it will help you go right into downtown Chittenango, get to the famous yellow brick road of Chittenango. That's what our sidewalks are here in Nango, as we like to call it. And while we're speaking of the yellow brick road, just one last thing I'll leave you with. So this feeder canal, I said it used to go all the way into downtown Chittenango. Now that hydraulic cement factory did not last all that long. However, what did last a while, well, this didn't last long either, it still had a big impact on the business of Chittenango. And on its banks, or near its banks, was a barrel factory owned by, I want to say, Benjamin Baum. He's not as important as his son, L. Frank Baum, who was born in May of 1856. And interestingly, just about the same time Chittenango Landing was being constructed. He was born May of 1856 in Chittenango, and that is why Chittenango has its yellow brick road sidewalk and its famous Ozstravaganza celebration. So they also, I would just like to recommend this, downtown Chittenango have their All Things Oz Museum, which interprets all the history of all things Oz here in beautiful Chittenango, New York. And real quick, here's that photo I was talking about that they based the whole site on. And you can see kind of a booming spot. You've got numerous boats and a lot of people. So it's really a happening spot, and it still is a happening spot with its staycations and everything else that goes on there. So there's Chittenango Landing. Take advantage of the staycation program. It runs until Labor Day, I believe. And you can use that to get your miles in too. So I'll see you at our next stop, which is right down the canal.